Hi there, we're back, and today we have a potential hurricane on the way. So we thought the perfect thing to talk about would be hurricane preparedness for maybe those who aren't used to that, someone like myself who is new to this. But we have what I would like to refer to as an expert because Fondren was born and raised in this area, so she's got a lot more experience. But we'll have two perspectives about how to prepare. So what would you say is like the number one thing to do for somebody who's new to storms? Like,
I would say, especially because today's Monday and we've known about it through the weekend that it could potentially be coming. So we have Hurricane Helene on the way, brewing out in the Gulf. I try to get to the groceries early in the week. I know a lot of people have a hard time with that because the let's say cliches can be pretty real sometimes. Don't eat your hurricane snacks. But it's just trying to get ahead of really the crowds. Not so much that they're not going to have everything you need, but just so you're not like at the last minute racing up there and this whole hoopla.
Fair. So one thing that I learned very quickly that when taking advice from, native Floridians, batteries and gas.
Yeah.
And I was like, why do we need gas? Number one, for your car, obviously. And then if you have a generator, you're going to need gas for the generator. So that was something that, I'm not used to. Right. We did get a generator, which was really helpful during Hurricane Ian.
Yeah, we had one.
Our first true hurricane where we had to put the hurricane shutters up and we lost power for about 5 days. So we had the generator, and one misconception, and maybe this was just me, but I'm like, oh, we have a generator, we're good to go. It doesn't mean it's going to power your house. No. It just means you can plug certain things in, like your refrigerator, so you don't lose your food, you can charge your phones, things like that. Obviously, I know now I'm much more well-versed that it's not a whole home generator that you get installed.
Correct.
It's just for minimal things. So you're not going to be able to run your AC.
Right.
But you can run a fan and turn on the light.
Yeah. I mean, they do have whole home generators available, but we only have a smaller generator. Yeah. And while this is not to replace any sort of PSA public service announcements, generators generally give me anxiety because a lot of people don't know that a generator must be used outside. If you are running it, it has to be outside. And it's actually, I believe it's like 20 feet or something from the front door or from any door, because it's extremely toxic and extremely harmful. And there have been some very scary situations with generators and people putting them in their house thinking like, load it all
and
up.
You'll need extension cords.
Yeah. So
to run those things.
Add to the list, batteries, gas, extension cords. Just make sure you keep that generator outside.
And of course, bottled water.
Right.
Tons of that. I mean, it's Florida, so we usually have tons of water available to us anyways. But
yeah, you're not going to run out of bottled water. I shouldn't say you're not going to run out of it. You're not going to regret buying it because
you can use it
You'll use it any day. Yeah, so if you have it left over. So I definitely think, those are the necessities.
Yes.
You definitely nailed it with the generator and the gas and the back. But I guess, moving on now, less about the preparations and getting your home ready, which we actually haven't even touched on that. We'll circle into it. But keeping yourself occupied.
And your kids.
Particularly if you lose power and you do have kids. So we like to load up on board games and puzzles and Legos for our kiddos.
Charge up the iPads.
Oh, yeah.
Your phones, of course. I make sure to download movies on everyone's iPads, including on my phone as well, because if we're inside and, they want to watch something, we're obviously not going to have internet without power. So I like to download as much as I can for them as well as myself. And yes, games.
We do the same. Absolutely. Do everything you can in advance.
Candles.
As far as downloading all of that and making sure everything's totally charged, because losing power is,
it's not fun.
It's not fun, and it happens pretty often with these types of storms.
Right, but you want to make the best of it.
You don't know when you're going to get it back. So, I think along those lines, you reminded me that another thing, kind of a home housekeeping task I do, is I try to do all the laundry if possible beforehand, because if you do lose power, I mean, sure, you can run it on the generator, but you're just going to be preoccupied with other things if you've lost power. So I try to get everything as organized and put together before the storm as possible.
Good point. And Wandering briefly mentioned this beginning, the hurricane snacks.
Yes.
That was something I learned as well, that get the best snacks, get something you want to lunch on while you're sitting inside with no power during a storm. So that was another tip that all of our Floridian friends
get a cooler, get some ice, put it in there. You know, that way if you do lose your power, if you got cold cuts or whatever, you can put it on there so you're making fresh sandwiches for your family. I mean, things like act like you're going to the beach. I don't know.
Yeah,
like just keep it easy. Yeah. Don't overthink it.
We have a gas stove. So we actually, the last time when we lost our power, we made spaghetti one night. I made mac and cheese for lunch one day. So that was super convenient. But yeah, easy snacks. And something else that I, as a northerner, did not realize is, okay, yes, maybe there's a gas station down the street or a store down the street that does have power. It's going to be crazy busy.
Yes.
I learned this. I went to Wawa thinking I'm just going to grab some more snacks, but their credit card machines were not working, so you had to have cash. Right. So I wasn't able to buy anything. So maybe get some cash out if you have a chance. I wouldn't say that's absolutely necessary, but it wouldn't hurt.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. And I think, you know, especially for people who are doing this and preparing for the first time, and you bought a home that is not impact window, you're probably thinking to yourself, all right, this is the first time I'm starting to put up my shutters. If that is something that seems daunting to you, there are plenty of companies that are out there that can support you and help you do that. A lot of them are reputable. You can find them just by going on Google or by talking to your neighbors. So you don't have to deal with that alone. Just, you know, make sure you're going into it with a plan.
Yes.
Or, you know, if you are able to do it, a lot of the new construction, they come with very easy to follow instructions.
Yes, absolutely. That's a great point. Just like up north, if you know, you hire somebody to shovel your driveway, you can hire somebody to put your hurricane shutters up.
Right.
So don't be overwhelmed by that.
Yeah.
And then as far as planning for your home, bring all of your outdoor furniture inside or secured so it doesn't blow away, it doesn't get ruined. Even like potted plants, things like that, everything should come in. We put all of our outdoor furniture in our garage so that we don't have to worry about it during the storm.
Yeah, we do the same thing. And I think the last is, what do I do if I have a puppy or a cat or, you know, a bird?
Yeah. So what do I do for my pets?
Yep.
Specifically dogs. So for Hurricane Ian, we actually got the advice of a neighbor. We got some sod and put it in our garage. And so when our dog needed to go to the bathroom, we just took her in the garage.
So smart.
And she went on the sod. So that worked out perfect for us.
Yeah.
Some of our neighbors' dogs refused to do that and would only go outside, so they were walking them in the rain. But if your dog would maybe go inside, try that.
Yeah, that's a wonderful tip. I have never heard that in my how old I am. I knew you were going to say that. But as a lifelong Sarasota and then Floridian, I like that tip, and I will this time.
Cool. So if you have any other questions or you're thinking about moving here, but you're worried about hurricanes, this is part of life here. I learned it very quickly. It was definitely a fear of mine, but it's just like snowstorms. You have to be prepared. Nothing you can do about Mother Nature except prepare ahead of time.
Right. Thanks for joining us.
Bye.